So video games are for kids, right? You know what? There was something I was thinking. There are video games out there for kids. I mean, really for kids. Toddlers. It was a good idea. Hey, let's include some games in our library that are strictly made for, toddlers. Games that you really can't die in. Let's have some fun. Let's do that. I want to actually talk about some of those games. Kids games. Real kids games. Barney, Pinocchio, and stuff like that. Most especially the stuff that was a part of the Sega Club that Sega was messing around with in the mid-90s. So strap on in, man. We're going to do a little bit of talking about some kids games. So bring the marshmallows and the diapers. Hi, Sonic. All right, anyway, here we go. We're going to be doing the Sesame Street Counting Cafe, the Crystal's Pony, not My Little Pony. I don't know what that's all about. Some Treasureland Adventure from McDonald's. Pinocchio, well, not quite a toddler's game, but what the hell. And Echo Jr., one of the best. All right, guys, let's turn on that television. We definitely can't forget about Barney. Here we go. It's Barney time. All right there, just for you clueless grown-ups out there, here's how you play the game, right? So dig it, it's Barney. When Barney was out, most of us were old enough to find this remarkably irritating. But you know what? You mellowed out in older age, and now I can, kind of get it. But that's not the point, is it? I mean, really, this is perfect kids fluff. I mean, it's Barney, so it's, obviously a character you recognize, and plus, it's full of, all the kinds of things that a kid would really need to see. There's always something to do, or something to touch, or something to open, or something to make musical notes with, or someone to talk to, or some place to fly an umbrella to. Just all the kind of things that, would put a smile and a giggle on a kid's face, and, keep him busy. So you get the idea. It's Barney, and it's hide and seek. So he's got to run out there and explore the world, learn this, learn that, do this, do that, and he'll find his friends, and everything is all hunky-dory. So yeah, it's a very good addition to the Sega Club and accomplishes exactly what they were trying to do. Hey, that's the wrong game! Wrong game, get that out of there! Damn, I don't know, it's a little bit creepy, man. If I were 3 or 4 years old, it'd scare the bulldog shit out of me. And that's one of the keys to making this work. This little study, this little bit of fun that I'm having. I gotta imagine myself at that age as I'm seeing these. I gotta imagine playing them as a super young kid. So, by the way, never underestimate the ability to change your colors and that kind of thing. Whoa, when you were a super youngster, you'd have done that for 30 minutes. But anyway, yeah, I always make sure I take myself back, to as early as I can and imagine what it would be like to play this. And it's easy to do for me. And, I'd be, interested. Maybe not in My Little Pony or something, but definitely Barney and some other stuff like that for sure. So I will say, this isn't some kind of a chintzy product, like a bunch of disgraced programmers were forced to work on it. It's got excellent sound effects, some nice visual effects as well, so whoever was working on it, definitely had some experience. Alright, so I include Pinocchio here, mainly because, I see the title, I see Pinocchio. Not necessarily going to imagine, an adventure being taken by somebody over the age of, say, 9. So I just, assumed it'd be kind of a kid's game, but it isn't. Again, it's similar to most Disney games, especially ones that Virgin worked on. So think of your, Lion Kings, your Aladdins, your Jungle Books, things of that nature on the Genesis especially. This one was no small budget affair, and it's definitely very good looking and very, very fun. Yeah, you can be hurt in this one, you can have a game over screen, whereas in the other ones you really can't. So this was one that kind of went under the radar for me back in the day, and, not even rediscovering it, just discovering it. I want to know more about it, so I'm going to actually apply some time to it after this video.
EA Kids.
Okay, so this is essentially an educational game. You know, it's a counting game, a numbers game. I was never really one for educational games, you know, in the first place. And I can dig it, you know, this kind of, presentation, this kind of, the Sega Club, you know, these are games for kids. So having any type of, educational aspect and learning aspect, especially if you're very, very young, 4 or 5 years old, numbers is important. And, having the recognizability of what, Sesame Street, and those kind of characters, it works. Again, me personally, when I was very young and, a toddler or, a late toddler, I was never really one for educational games, or Carmen Sandiego. I'd rather play Legend of Zelda or something, really, get into an adventure. So this isn't my favorite of these kids' games I've been looking back at, but, again, I want 2 oranges, so you go get 2 oranges for this guy, waiter! He's kind of rude, so thankfully they weren't teaching, ethics in this one.
Hey kids, are you ready for some McDonald's?
So yeah, McDonald's. McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure. Interesting. It's called Treasure Land Adventure because, again, that's who made it. I mean, check this out. This is not a kid's game. And this is actually a very capable and intelligent, 16-bit platformer. If you were to take Ronald McDonald out of it and put any other, kind of creative character out there, this would be, hey, have you played such and such? You'd be into it. It'd be almost legendary. It's a treasure game. These are the guys that made Gunstar Heroes and Dynamite Headdy and Guardian Heroes on the Saturn. So once you're aware of that, you're like, really? And you check it out. And again, this is a very, very cool platformer. Very unique, full of all kinds of cute and talented effects, programming, and things of the nature. So it's showing you some stuff you've seen on the console before and some stuff that you haven't. With the kick-ass soundtrack and again, some very thoughtful level design. This is one that, really should be in your collection. Your kid's collection, maybe not. But, just as a surprise to somebody, hey, check it out. The McDonald's game on the Sega Genesis is actually a pretty kick-ass game with a very handsome title screen. Alright, so I am unashamedly a huge fan of Echo the Dolphin. The series itself kind of, gets me at the bottom of the heart and at the top of the heart. I mean, I'm telling you, this my love of the 16-bit gaming days in the first place are, partly because of Echo. And from everything from the first title out to the Dreamcast, it's got a strong place in my heart. So I was very interested in checking out Echo Jr. to see what it was about. And I can certainly, once again, put myself in the frame of mind, of being a youngster, maybe 8, 9 years old, something like that. Maybe younger. But to get into something like this was definitely more my flavor around that age. I mean, something that was, kind of mysterious, unfamiliar, territory and, an adventure and, something to explore, and to get into those corners and get from side to side and see everything. That's something that this title would have provided for me, and it would have been one of the main reasons I played it, rather than go, hunting for these glyphs and, these objects that you need to bring back and, such and such. It was, again, this isn't really an educational experience as much as it is just an adventure, and that's, I think, one of the strengths of this particular edition to the Sega Club.
So, who wants to join me in feeling like a kid again? Oh well, nobody.
Well, yeah, kids games, right? Well, obviously, I'm kind of still a kid too, so doesn't mean you have to stop. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and keep collecting and hope you do the same.